Hello everybody, welcome to Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH, and this is Lesson 43, Basic Taxation Principles. Usapang buwis tayo mga kapatid. At the end of the video, you should be able to enumerate and explain the three inherent powers of the state, define taxation and taxes, describe the nature of taxation in the Philippines, explain the different characteristics of taxes, and describe different internal revenue taxes. Before anything else, please like, share, and subscribe to Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH and hit the notification bell button to alert you of the latest video lessons. For all of your questions, comments, and suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And for webinar and speakership invites, please send me a message at kevintroy.chua1994@gmail.com. Thank you very much for your utmost support for Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH. And may these videos continue to help students in their online learning and academic development. And may these videos continue to help teachers in enhancing their lesson plans and teaching methodologies. Maraming salamat po for trusting Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH as your online learning partner. Maraming salamat po. Okay, let's start. In the last lesson, we learned about the bank reconciliation statement. So, marunong na po kayong gumamit ng bank statement, marunong na din po kayong tumingin sa ledger, and what are the different things that you need to consider in both of those documents or records of the company in order to create a bank reconciliation statement. And now, we are ready to talk about taxes. So, it's actually the last part of the senior high school curriculum for fundamentals of ABM Part 2. So ngayon pa lamang po nagpapasalamat na ako for all of your support mula lesson 001 hanggang sa we've come this far na po sa ating pong video lessons. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Again, thank you for trusting Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH. Okay, so we have the three inherent powers of the state. Pag sinabing inherent, it's natural na sa isang territory na ito po yung kanilang kapangyarihan na kaya nilang ipataw sa kanilang nasasakupan. Okay? We have police power. We also have the power of eminent domain. And lastly, we have the power of taxation. Let's talk about the three inherent powers of the state one by one. First one is police power. Police power is the power of the state to enact laws for promotion of public safety and order, public health, public morals, education, and general welfare. Sa pagpapanatili po natin ng katiwasayan at kaayusan sa ating nasasakupan, the state has the power to enact laws in order for the people to feel safety, okay, to feel safe, no, sa atin pong bansa, no. So since we want to promote safety, public safety, and general welfare sa ating bansa, kailangan magpatupad ng ating estado ng police power. Okay. The next one is what we call the eminent domain. The power of the state to take private property for public purposes upon payment of a just compensation. Kapangyarihan po ng isang estado na kunin ang private property kung gagamitin po ito for public purposes tapos babayaran ka na lang ng gobyerno. Okay. Example, magkakaroon po ng road widening or magkakaroon po ng paggawa ng mga bagong skyway o mga bagong tulay. Yun nga lang po, maraming residential area yung tatamaan nung bagong gagawing skyway or road widening or bagong tulay. So, the state actually has the power to take that private property from you para magawa yung bagong daan na yon or yung bagong tulay or yung road widening or yung skyway na yon. Ang gagawin ng gobyerno, even though they have the power to take that private property from you, ang gagawin nila is syempre babayaran ka naman ng gobyerno doon. Okay? There is a payment of a just compensation dun sa kukunin nila sa'yo na private property. Okay? Meron po akong kakilala na nag-take effect sa kanya yung eminent domain. Meron po siyang bahay pero kailangan pong gibain yung kanyang bahay kasi yung government under the Build program magtatayo po ng ating mga bagong skyway. Pero syempre, babayaran naman po siya dun sa kanyang bahay. Yun nga lang, mag-goodbye na tayo kasi gigibain na po yun to give way para po dun sa skyway na ginagawa ng government. Okay? Ganun po yun. There is a just compensation dun po sa pangyayaring yon, although it's really the power of the state to take that property from you. Okay? And the last inherent power of the state is what we call the power of taxation. The power of the state to exact proportional contribution from its people to cover the cost of government expenditures. Ang operations po ng gobyerno at mga pinagkakagastusan ng gobyerno, kailangan po natin magbayad sa kanila ng buwis. At yung buwis po na yon ay kapangyarihan ng isang estado na singilin tayo para gamitin sa operations ng ating gobyerno. Okay? So yung buwis na ating binabayaran is gagamitin din naman po in return para sa atin because government is all about public service. Okay? So the state has the power to enforce na singilin ka ng buwis pero gagamitin po yung mga buwis na yon for the purposes of the government. Okay? So that's the three inherent powers of the state. Bakit po kayo inintroduce sa three inherent powers of the state? Kasi ang isa po sa kanila yung pag-uusapan po natin which is the power of taxation. What is taxation? Taxation is the inherent power of the state to demand contributions for public purposes. Napakasimple po ng definition, di ba? Magde-demand ng contributions, maniningil si gobyerno ng buwis mo, gagamitin for government operations, for public purposes. Yung buwis na binayaran mo para sa bayan, babalik din po sa'yo. Ikaw din ang makikinabang sa pagpapagawa ng mga bagong daan, roads, bridges, parks, at sa pagpapagawa po ng mga bagong eskwelahan. Yung ating pong buwis na binibigay sa gobyerno can contribute in nation building. So, lahat po tayo ay, syempre, CPA po kasi ako, di ba? So, syempre, panawagan ko po sa ating lahat na bilang isang accountant po na nagsasalita sa inyo, let us all pay the right amount of taxes because these taxes will contribute in nation building. Sir Chua, para konsehal. Okay, joke lang po. Okay, so, yun nga po, the government can demand contributions of taxes from you and then those taxes will be used for public purposes. Okay? So, taxes, ano naman yung tax? Kasi yung taxation is the whole thing eh. Okay? Taxation is the whole process, the whole thing, the whole thing that we do na gagamitin natin yung mga taxes na yan for public purposes. But, ano po ba yung mismong tax? Ito po yung definition ng tax. Taxes are enforced proportional contributions from persons and property levied by the lawmaking body of the state by virtue of its sovereignty for the support of the government and all public needs. Isa-isahin natin yung ating definition. Una, taxes are enforced. Oo, medyo sapilitan yan eh, 'di ba? Kasi power siya ng ating pamahalaan na singilin ka ng buwis. So, medyo sapilitan. It's really enforced, no? You are really required. You are compulsory po ang pagbabayad ng taxes. Sorry po sa mga English teacher, mali. Okay, it's really compulsory, 'di ba? Now, yung contributions pong yun ay proportional. Hindi naman po kung ano yung kinita mo sa business mo or yung kinita mo sa pagtatrabaho, hindi naman po siya kukunin ng buo ng gobyerno. Okay? Proportional lang po ang kukunin. So, tatanggalan ng konti, kukurot ng konti ang gobyerno, yun po yung buwis mo. Okay? Kanino daw po pinapataw? Persons and property. Nagtatrabaho ka, sumasahod ka, may tax yung sahod mo. Kakain ka sa Jollibee, may value-added tax. Magbebenta ka ng bahay na residential, may capital gains tax. Magta-transfer ka or magbibigay ka ng kotse sa kaibigan mo, may donor's tax. Okay? And it's also levied on properties. Yun nga po, yun pala yung sinabi ko kanina, yung sa capital gains tax na yung residential mong capital asset, binenta mo. So, it's not only on persons, it's also being levied to properties. Pag sinabi mong levied, pinapataw, okay? It's being levied, pinapataw po siya. Now, it's being levied by the law-making body of the state, okay? By virtue of its sovereignty. Okay, since we are a sovereign country, no, by virtue of the sovereignty of our country, yun, taxes are being imposed, 'di ba? And then, saan po gagamitin yung taxes na nakurot sa'yo ng gobyerno? For the support of the government and all public needs. Okay, so nauuwi rin po tayo sa main definition ng taxation, which is magkakaroon ng contributions from persons or properties in the form of taxes, and gagamitin po siya for public purposes. Now, in the Philippines, let me introduce you in the taxation system in the Philippines, okay? So, ang naniningil po, medyo pangit lang pakinggan sa Tagalog, but it's how it is. So, our tax collection is being, and all other tax assessments is being done by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, or the BIR, okay? The Bureau of Internal Revenue shall be under the supervision and control of the Department of Finance. So, under po ng Department of Finance, nasa ilalim po niya, Bureau of Internal Revenue, okay? And its powers and duties shall comprehend the assessment and collection of all national internal revenue taxes. So, lahat po, ang mandate po ang tawag dyan. Ang mandate po sa Bureau of Internal Revenue is the assessment and collection of all internal revenue taxes. May kasama pa pong fees and charges, and pag-i-enforce din po ng forfeitures, penalties, and fines connected po kapag ka pumalya kang magbayad ng taxes. Okay? Kasi syempre, pag nalilate ka magbayad ng tax, may penalty na po yun. Di ba? Parang ganon. So, it also includes execution of judgments in all cases decided in its favor by the Court of Tax Appeals. So, meron po tayong tinatawag na Court of Tax Appeals. So, dun po pinag-uusapan yung mga disputes natin sa taxes. And then, si BIR po yung bahalang magpatupad ng kung anumang desisyon na napagdesisyonan sa Court of Tax Appeals. Okay? The Bureau shall give effect to and administer the supervisory and police powers conferred to it. So, binigyan daw po sila ng supervisory and police powers. Para saan? Para mangolekta ng buwis by the Internal Revenue Code or other laws. Yan po ang mandate sa BIR. Okay? So, the mandate of the BIR, yan pong nakikita po ninyo at nababasa, is galing po sa BIR website, bir.gov.ph. Okay. Say hello to Sir Cesar Dulay. He is currently the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. But if you are watching this video na hindi na po 2020, kasi this video will stay forever in YouTube, so baka po by that time na pinapanood nyo po ito, may bago na pong Commissioner of Internal Revenue. Basta at the time of discussion today in 2020, he is currently the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. And then we also have former commissioners of the Bureau of Internal Revenue. We have Ma'am Kim Jacinto Henares. Siya po yung madalas nyo makitang picture sa Facebook kapag ka po nananalo si Manny Pacquiao. Tapos ginagamit po yung pictures niya sa memes kasi sinisingil daw po ng buwis, para mga ganon. Okay? So, siya po yung pinalitan ni Sir Cesar Dulay. Okay, and then we also have former Commissioner Joel Tan Torres, and si Sir Joel Tan Torres din po yung dati po nating tawag dito, yung head ng Board of Accountancy. Okay, so siya po yung bigla ko nakalimutan yung word, sorry. Basta he's part of the Board of Accountancy dati, no? But now we have a new set of Board of Accountancy na po kasi. Okay, so yun po. Those are the people that you need to know about the taxation in the Philippines. And syempre, yung ating pong mga revenue district officials, kada RDO po natin sa ating mga municipalities and cities, and in different jurisdictions. Okay, so we are under the Republic Act number 10963, or the TRAIN Law, the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion. It amended numerous sections of the Republic Act 8424, or the National Internal Revenue Code, NIRC, of 1997. So, dati po kasi yung sinusunod po natin na tax code, ang tawag po dyan tax code is the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997. And then, effective January 1, 2018, nagkaroon po tayo ngayon ng tax reforms which is Train Law RA 10963. So, nagkaroon po ng mga different na changes sa dati pong tax code. May mga tax na tumaas, may mga tax na bumaba, no? But we're not here to talk about that comprehensively, no? At least you know that we have this is our guiding principle right now, the train law, okay? So, yun po. If you will be taking up BS Accountancy, we have a separate subject on income taxation, transfer taxation, and business taxation. So, kung gusto nyo pong gumaling sa taxes, ayan, pwede po kayong mag-enroll sa BS Accountancy and we have separate subjects for taxation. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about the different characteristics of taxes. Ano po ba ang taxes, no? Una po, it is an enforced contribution. Sa pilitan po yan kasi power ng state na singilin tayo ng buwis para magamit po yung ating mga buwis for public purposes. Okay? It is really enforced. Okay? Hindi siya, yung parang by heart lang natin na kung gusto ko magbayad ng buwis, magbabayad ako. Pero pag hindi kung ayaw ko magbayad ng buwis, ayoko din. Hindi po siya ganoon. Okay? It's really enforced. Kasi po nakakasuhan tayo kapag po hindi tayo nagbabayad ng buwis at nagkakataong parang kung kumikita tayo tapos hindi tayo nagbabayad ng buwis, tax evasion po ang tawag doon because it's really an enforced contribution. It is also generally payable in money. Wala pong nagbabayad ng buwis in the form of asin. Wala pong nagbabayad ng buwis in the form of bigas. Okay? It's payable in money. It is proportional in character kasi po, hindi po yung buong kinita mo ang kukunin ng gobyerno. The government will just get a portion of it. Kaya po, it is proportional in character. It is levied on persons or property. Pinapataw po either sa atin as persons or sa properties din po. Okay? And then it is also levied by the state that has jurisdiction over the person or property. Di ba po pinapataw sa atin yung buwis? At pinapataw po siya ng pamahalaan na yung sumasakop sa atin, di ba? So, kunyari, sino po ba ang may jurisdiction sa persons or property in the Philippines? The Philippine government. So, the Philippine government, papatawan tayo ng buwis dahil tayo ay nasa jurisdiction ng Philippine government. Okay? And then, it's levied by the lawmaking body of the state. So, pinapataw po siya ng ano po kaya yung lawmaking body of the state? Balikan po ninyo yung tatlo, yung executive, legislative, and judiciary. Okay? So, it's being levied by the lawmaking body of the state. It's also levied for public purpose or purposes. Parang it's more of a purpose na po ng tax, no? Pinapataw do po siya para saan? Para gamitin for public purpose. Okay? And lastly, it's commonly required to be paid at regular periods or intervals. Meron pong monthly, merong quarterly, annually, and meron din pong one time. Okay? So, ganun po. Examples ng one time, meron po tayong tinatawag sa taxes na ONET. Ano po yung ibig sabihin ng ONET? One-time tax transactions. Okay? Like mga documentary stamp tax po natin. Paano naman po yung mga monthly? Kunyari, ikaw po ay sumasahod monthly, so binabawasan ka po ng tax monthly sa iyong sahod, di ba? Annual, ano po ba yung mga annual taxes? Yung mga income taxes po natin individual, tsaka yung mga taxes natin sa business, na income tax on business, corporate income taxes. Meron din po tayong mga quarterly like value added taxes, ayan, yung mga ganun po. Meron din pong halo, monthly and quarterly, like, yun nga po, VAT, ganun. So, ang mahalaga, it's not about, we're not talking about yung parang, yung mismong tax deadlines, no? Hindi naman natin pag-uusapan yun ngayon. It will be discussed in you sa college. Pero ang mahalaga, alam natin that taxes should be paid at regular periods or intervals except kapag po siya ay one-time tax transaction. Okay? So let's talk about some different taxes here in the Philippines. So capital gains tax po is a tax imposed on the gains presumed to have been realized in the sale, exchange, or disposition of capital assets in the Philippines. So if you have capital assets that you sold, the gain from that will be subject to capital gains tax. Kaya nga po, gains, di ba? Capital gains, okay? Ayan o, imposed on the gains. Diba? It's only imposed in the gains. Okay? Credits to GMA Network for the picture of the house of Pipito, my friend. Okay. Next one, we also have documentary stamp tax. It's a it's a tax rather on documents, instruments, loan agreements, and papers evidencing the acceptance, assignment, sale, or transfer of obligation, rights, or property incident thereto. Saan po tayo minsan makaka-experience yan? Kunyari po ako, I'm a graduate of Polytechnic University of the Philippines, and that is a state university. My transaction with my university, which is a state university, is I need to request for my transcript of records. Yung transcript of records, bukod sa babayaran ko po yung mismong transcript of records, babayaran ko rin po yung documentary stamp tax or DST para po sa aking TOR. Okay, ganun po yon. Pero marami pa pong examples ng DST, hindi lang po yon. Okay, so may mga DST rin po tayo on other transfers, in sales. So ayun, depende na lang po sa tax kung ano po yung may DST. Next one, we also have donor's tax. It is a tax on a donation or gift and is imposed on the gratuitous transfer of property between two or more persons who are both living at the time of transfer. So if you give a car to your friend, that will be subject to donor's taxes. If you give cash din po talaga, it will be subject to donor's taxes. Okay, pero may threshold lang po tayo. Annually, it's meron po tayong exemption, hindi po pala threshold, exemption. 250,000 per year po. So kung yung donor's tax, pag yung binigay po natin is less than 250,000, it will not be subjected to donor's tax po. Okay? So wala pong tax due doon kasi po lesser than 250,000. Okay? Kapag donor's tax is a kind of transfer tax kasi you transferred a property from one to another. Another kind of transfer tax is yung estate tax naman po. Bakit po binanggit kanina sa donor's tax na both are living at the time of the transaction? Kasi pag estate tax po, yung namatay may pamana. Okay, ganun po yon. Estate tax is a tax on the right of the deceased person to transmit his or her estate to his or her lawful heirs and beneficiaries at the time of death and on certain transfers which are made by law as equivalent to testamentary disposition. Pagka po nagkakaroon ng yung properties po ng namatay, pag ita-transfer po natin sa kanyang mga heirs or sa mga descendants niya, tataksan po yun ng gobyerno. Okay? Pero hindi naman po agad-agad may tax, no? May amount pa rin po. For example, meron po tayong standard deduction na 5 million. Ang laki agad nun, 5 million. Paano kung lahat-lahat ng assets na ita-transfer nung namatay, 4 million lang naman. So, hindi rin naman siya subject sa 6% na estate tax. Ayan. Okay? Meron din po tayong family home deduction up to 10 million. So, for example, exclusive property po nung namatay, yung bahay, ililipat sa kanyang mga heir. Hanggang value na 10 million yung bahay, hindi rin po matataksan yung family home na po yun. Okay? So, mapag-aaralan nyo naman po yan pagdating nyo po ng business taxation. Okay, we also have percentage taxes, which is a business tax naman po, imposed on persons or entities who sell or lease goods, properties, or services in the course of trade or business. May business ka, may pero. The gross annual sales or receipts does not exceed a certain threshold. So sa BIR po kasi may threshold po tayo ngayon. Kailan ka masasubject sa value-added tax at kailan ka nasa percentage tax lang. So kung hindi ka naman VAT registered at hindi ka nakaabot dun sa certain threshold, ang ipapataw sa iyo ng BIR, percentage tax. Okay, and in relation to that, nabanggit ko na rin naman po yung value-added tax. Dito na po tayo sa value-added tax. It is a business tax as well. Okay, imposed and collected from the seller in the course of trade or business on every sale of property, real or personal, lease of goods or properties, or vendors of services. It is an indirect tax which can be passed to the buyer. O, yung pong fast food na feeling ko hindi nyo kilala yung fast food na yan. Tinakpan ko na yung name, not sponsored naman. Okay? So, yung fast food na yan, pag tinignan nyo po yung resibo nyo dyan, may makikita kayong value-added tax. Bakit kayo yung magbabayad ng VAT kahit ini-impose siya dun sa business? Kasi pwede po siyang ipasa sa buyer. Ang tawag po dun ay indirect tax. Okay? So, although pinataw siya sa mismong company, tayo po ang magbabayad ng VAT. And in reality naman po kasi yung mga businesses natin, nagbabayad din naman ng VAT yan doon naman sa kanilang mga pinurchase. So ganun din. Okay? So kaya po pinagtatapat natin yung VAT na nakuha ng company galing sa ating customers and yung VAT na mga binayaran din nila from all of their purchases. Okay? Kaya po mako-compute natin yung tinatawag nating VAT payable. Pero tsaka na natin pag-usapan yung tungkol sa VAT pag nasa value-added tax na po tayo. I will be introducing you as well to value-added taxation. Okay? The current VAT rate in the Philippines is 12%. Income tax is a tax on all yearly profits arising from property, profession, trade, or offices, or as a tax on a person's income and profits. Best example po, kapag kumikita ka buwan-buwan, tataksan po yun ng income tax. Okay? Pero yearly po talaga, no? Yearly po ang pagko-compute po natin ng income tax. So, in the succeeding videos, malalaman nyo po kung para saan yung kinakaltas sa mga sahod natin monthly at para saan po at bakit meron pang annual computation of taxes. Okay? Ganun po siya. And then, we also have withholding tax on compensation related to income tax. It is the tax withheld from the individuals receiving purely compensation income. So, pag nagtatrabaho ka, sumasahod ka, kakaltasan ka ng tax. Ang tawag po doon, withholding tax. Kasi wini-withhold siya ni employer sa sahod mo, marireceive mo yung sahod mo, bawas na po ng tax. Kasi wini-withhold na ni employer mo. Now, for income taxes, there are two basic types. Meron po tayong individual income tax, which is imposed sa atin po as individual persons. And meron din po tayong corporate income tax, which is imposed on businesses, partnerships, and corporations except general professional partnerships. Okay? So, pag-uusapan din po natin yan sa mga succeeding videos. Okay? So, other topics covered po ng ating tax videos bilang pagtatapos ng FABM2, pag-uusapan po natin yung monthly compensation income, paano pag sumasahod ka buwan-buwan, at magkano yung tax na nakukurutin ng BIR sa'yo from that. And then yung pagkakompute po natin ng annual taxes, pero ang ating pong focus is dun sa mga kumikita lang galing sa pagtatrabaho or sa sahod. Okay? And then magfi-fill up din po tayo para magkakaroon po tayo ng mini workshop, which is magfi-fill up po tayo ng BIR form 2316. Okay? Certificate of Tax Withheld on Compensation. Okay? And then pupunta po tayo ng konting corporate income tax, paano po mag-compute ng income tax pag businesses na pong pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? Corporate businesses. And then lastly, I will be introducing you into the calculation of value-added tax. Okay, so this is the start of the last lesson for FABM2. Again, please like, share, and subscribe to Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH. And hit the notification bell button to alert you of the latest video lessons. For all of your questions, comments, and suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And for webinar and speakership invites, please send me a message at kevintroy.chua1994@gmail.com. This has been Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH. To God be all the glory, honor, and praise. Thank you and have a great day. Sarangeo.